Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and it's Saturday morning the 20th of January and it's the start of the Biannual Bibliothon. So it's a week-long readathon. If you haven't seen my TBR for that, I will link it up above. But also it is a free day for me. My daughter is going to spend the weekend at her grandma's, which never happens. They're going off. I'm very jealous to see The Lion King. And so I've got a free day and I have not been reading much in the last week, and I decided that I wanted to utilise my free day for reading and just to really enjoy and relax, have some nice baths with my Lush products, have a stroll and listen to an audiobook, and just read as much as possible in one day to really kick the Biannual Bibliothon off best as I can. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do a 24-hour readathon for myself, read as much as I can in 24 hours. And I mentioned it to a couple of my friends, Mercedes and Janet, and they were like, well, we've got that day free too. Let's set up a little Voxer group and we can chat all day and we'll just really enjoy reading for the day and talking to each other. So that is what's happening today. So I haven't got too much to talk about right now because I've just woken up and I've just got dressed and I haven't started yet because Matilda is still here, so I'm spending some time with her. But I will be this morning finishing my chapters for Lonesome Dove. This is my hard copy, but I'm listening to this on audiobook. If you don't know anything about this, we're doing a read along, myself and Ange from Beyond the Pages on Goodreads, and we're now in, I think, week 3, and so it's about 150 pages a week, so I tend to blast through them the weekend before, leave my comments, and then reply and wait to hear back on how everyone else is doing. So far this is okay. I have to say, if we weren't doing the read along, I'm not sure I would have continued. It's quite slow, but I'll talk about this more when I finished it at the end of the read along. So I will be getting through my chapters of this anytime that I'm wandering around today or going out, so that'll hopefully be done. I'm also going to be trying to get through the group book for the Biannual Bibliothon, which is Otherworld by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller. So I'm looking forward to this one, and obviously I will catch up with you later and let you know what I'm thinking of it. And then the other book I'm going to sort of start straight away is, if you've seen my TBR for the Biannual Bibliothon, I've actually made a change. I was going to read the Language of Thorns arc that I'd got, which is sort of 3 short stories, sort of like a, not a primer, but it was only half of the short stories that are in the actual book. But I didn't really enjoy Shadow and Bone. I wasn't, you know, Six of Crows mad. So I really wasn't that interested in reading it. So I thought, well, for my pick of under 200 pages, I'll pick up a graphic novel because I quite fancied that. And I've had this for ages, and it's Angel Catbird by Margaret Atwood, Johnny Christmas and Tamra Bonvillian. So I'm going to be picking up this one as well this morning. So I've got 3 books to be going on with: an audio book, a physical book and a graphic novel. So I'll catch up with you in a bit and let you know how I'm doing. Hi there. So I filmed a few videos and I'm just about to sit down for my first book. I've been listening off and on to my audiobook of the day, but yeah, I'm just about to sit down and start my first book. I think I'm going to read a graphic novel. I've got my candle on the go. I don't know if you can see that there. I've just lit the vanilla toffee fudge candle. This is by a company called Potter's Crouch. They are local to where I live. And I am just about to have some snacks now. I'm currently doing Weight Watchers. It's a healthy lifestyle diet that works for me. It helps me to lose the weight slowly but surely and keep it off. Christmas was a bit of a bingey time for me, so I need to get back on it. I'd like to shift a couple of stone this year just to feel a bit more comfortable in my skin. So something that I struggle with is I'm very much, when it's not a weekday, when it's a weekend and I'm not busy at work and can't, you know, get my hands on food and can't eat, I'm much more of a grazer than I am sitting down just for 3 meals. So I tend to graze throughout the day, so it might not be of interest to any of you and you can skip these little bits if you want to, but I'm just going to show you as and when what I eat today, because I've got some interesting things that I'm going to be making. I've just opened these maple barbecue king prawns by Sainsbury's. And then I'm going to cook in a pan some padron peppers because I love padron peppers, just with a little bit of salt. The padron peppers are free on Weight Watchers, and this king prawn, as you can see, I write it all over my food, is 3 points for the whole thing. So this morning for breakfast I had an egg on a piece of Weight Watchers bread. The eggs are now free on Weight Watchers, and so I ended up only having the bread, which was points, and that was 1 point. So it was a 1 point breakfast, and now 3 points for the prawns and the padron peppers. I'm going to sit and have those and just enjoy eating them. As I say, it's now 10:30, so for some people maybe a little bit too early to be eating a snack like that, but it works for me, and I'm going to enjoy eating those while I start my first book. So I'll check in with you once I've finished that book. Okay, so I've just finished my first book for today, and that was Angel Catbird. This is a graphic novel, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't love it as much as I hoped, but I enjoyed it more than I was potentially thinking I might, having given it sort of mixed reviews that I've seen. It has a really nice art style to it that I really enjoy. I like these sort of punchy colours and quite bright colour palettes. The basic storyline is about a young scientist. He goes to work for a big corporation in a new job, and in the job he's told that his predecessor had solved this splicing formula, but had taken part of it with him, and they wanted him to discover what was missing in this formula. He discovers it and goes to take it to his boss. There's an accident. He gets covered in this splicing at the same moment as his cat dying, and gets spliced with his like cat genes, I suppose, and becomes Angel Catbird. It turns out that there's quite a lot of these sort of half animal, half human people, and yeah, it was okay. There was quite a lot at the bottom of every page. There was these sort of cat facts all the time, because the cats play a predominant role in this. And maybe it's because I'm not really, don't hate me anyone on the internet, but I'm not a massive cat person. So maybe that is why it didn't gel with me so much. Maybe it was because it just felt a little bit surface level. I didn't feel like we got much depth to anybody. But it was pleasant enough to read, and it's obviously the start of a series and probably not one that I'm going to continue with. So I gave this one 3 stars, and now I'm going to move on to my next book. So I will catch you in a bit. Okay, so I'm currently in the car waiting for the car park. It's busy because it's raining outside, which is awful, but I've got my headphones on. I'm listening to my Lonesome Dove audiobook, and I'm going to go and do some shopping. I've got to go and pick up some clothes that I've ordered from Marks and Spencer's. I've got to pick up a few bits of food, so maybe I will show you a bit of this as I go along. I'll see how brave I am and how wet it is, but so far 1 book down, and I'm listening to my audiobook. Okay, well, I'm back from town. I picked up my new tops, and so I didn't film when I was out because it was really rainy. So I'm going to try them on, and I will try and show you in my mirror here what they look like. All 3 of these tops, although different patterns, are exactly the same style, and the reason for that really is, there's quite a few reasons, but one reason is I hate clothes shopping. I really hate clothes shopping. I'm not someone that enjoys it. And maybe partly related to that, or maybe just a separate thing, is that I'm currently not feeling great in my body and how it looks, and so if I find a style of top that I like, I tend to just pick quite a few of them up. They're comfortable, they suit both work and out of work, and I just really like swapping and changing them up with black leggings. I've got hundreds of pairs of black leggings, and I just put one of these tops on and I know it's going to look okay. So I shall show you the ones that I picked up now. Okay, so as you can see, it's just a dress tunicky style top. I just really like the pattern on this. It's got this flower pattern on it. It's knee length, and I can wear it with just flat shoes, and it works for when I'm at school and also when I'm out. So that is the first one. Okay, so as I say, exactly the same style, just a different pattern. I really like this one. It's sort of a purpley, bluey colour, and I like the fact that these are sort of 3/4 length sleeves. Okay, and then the final one is this flowery pattern. This is the one that I'm probably not the most wary of, but I'm not 100% sure that it suits me colour wise, but it was so pretty that I got it anyway, and I think I'm going to like it. Hello. As you can see, I'm not great at this, but yeah, that is my 3 tops. And oh, this is my bedroom. This is my big bedroom mirror, just in case you want a little tour of my bedroom. If you've been watching my videos and you saw me do my my advent, this was my beauty advent calendar. Isn't it beautiful? I just love this, and it seems such a shame to let it go to waste. So it now has all my makeup in the different drawers, and I use this, all the bottom one is all my lipsticks, and I've been using this as my my makeup box. And then tucked behind here, hidden from my daughter, are my Lush bath bombs, of which I will be having one later. Oh, a cheeky picture of me and my husband on our wedding day. We got married at the Wynn in Las Vegas, and that is us. Some pictures on the wall. These just go with the wallpaper that we've got. Excuse my pyjamas on the bed, but this is our bedroom. And my husband insisted when we moved into this house that he wanted a super king size bed, and I have to admit it's been the best thing that we did. We've been here about 6 years now. He might tell me it was 7, I'm not sure. But yeah, that is our bedroom. Some clothes on the floor. I'm now going to go and get some lunch, and I'm having salmon, just grilled salmon and some samphire. It is my favourite vegetable, so I'll give you a quick look at that, and then I'm going to get back to reading. I've nearly finished my Lonesome Dove chapters for the day, so I'm really pleased with that. I picked up a few bits of shopping that I needed and some figs, because I really love figs, and I'm having goat's cheese on my pizza tonight, so I might have the figs with what's left over, I'm not sure. But I'll give you a little sneaky peek of my salmon and samphire before I cook it, and then I'll catch up with you when I've finished my next book or chapters. Okay, so this is the salmon that I like. It is just Scottish salmon fillets from Sainsbury's, and then I picked up some samphire in Marks and Spencer's, which I'm just going to fry with some spray oil in a pan. And here are my figs. Oh, I can't wait. I do love figs. So I'm just going to have the salmon and samphire for my lunch, and then tonight I'm going to be making my goat's cheese cauliflower crust pizza, which I love, and I will try and show you how I make that then. But for now, I'm going to go and eat and carry on with my book. Okay, so I'm starting to flag a bit. I've read about a third of my book, and I want to have a bath. So now I just need to pick from these. I've got a dragon's egg bath bomb here, which apparently it has got popping candy and lemon and various things in. I've got one of these, which I think is called a sleep well one, which I don't want, because I don't want to be going to sleep. Oh, it's called Golden Slumbers, which has got in it, what does it say here, gardenia and lavender oil and chamomile in. And then over here, this is the one I'm really intrigued by. This is called the Experimenter, and this is popping candy, vetiver, which is my favourite scent, and vanilla. And then I also have one called Calavera, which is this one here, and this is a yeah, this is a limey one. That really smells quite nice. That's got different limes in. And then the last one, which is a sort of half and half one, I think is called Over and Over. But I'm not 100% sure. This doesn't look like one I ordered, so I'm not sure. So I don't know which one to go for. I'm definitely not going to go for this one because I don't want to go to sleep. I'm tempted by this one, I have to say. I think I'm going to go for this one. So I'll let you know what it goes like when I put it in the bath. Okay, so I'm out of my bath now. It was glorious, and oh, that bath bomb was amazing. It smelt like violets and so nice. I'm definitely getting that one again. I've just finished reading Being Miss Nobody by Tasmin Winter, and I really enjoyed this. It's not a book that I loved, but I did really enjoy it, and it was an easier read. It's about a young girl who is struggling. She has selective mutism and she just can't talk. She can talk to her parents, her younger brother Seb, and her next door neighbour, but apart from that she can't speak. Throughout this book we are witnessing what's going on in her home life with her younger brother Seb, who is 8, who is suffering from leukemia. We discover more about her relationship with her next door neighbour. We discover what she goes through when she goes to therapy, and we look at the world of school and how brutal and cruel children can be. We look at bullying mainly. That is a heavy focus in this book, is thinking about bullying, and because she can't speak, she's a prime target when she starts secondary school for those bullies that want to make her feel bad about herself, and she can't answer back, she can't speak back and stand up for herself. And so she sets up a blog called Miss Nobody, and she decides that she's going to speak through that, through writing, and she starts to garner followers and people that are suffering the same as her, and she starts to make a little bit of a following of people that band together to protect each other and to try and combat bullying at their school. As with all these types of things, there are some you know, some events that happen, things that maybe are taken in a negative turn, and a good resolution at the end. I did feel, I think mainly for me, that this felt like a younger read. I think it's targeted as a YA read, but for me it felt like a crossover between middle grade and YA. I felt it was quite a young YA, and that's to be expected because our main character is only 11, so I won't hold that against it too much. I enjoyed it, and it was a nice read, but there was just something lacking here for me in terms of giving it more than 3 stars. Perhaps that is an age thing, perhaps that was lacking a bit more of an emotional connection. I'm not 100% sure. There was just something that didn't push it over the edge to make it 4 or 5 stars, but I would recommend it if you're looking for a book that's talking about bullying, a book about someone with selective mutism, a book about someone who is a young carer who has a sibling who is terminally ill, and or a book with a really strong present family, because the parents in this were really present, which is a bonus. Anyway, I'm going to go now and make my cauliflower pizza. I shall try and video this so that you can see how I make it. It is delicious and very low on Weight Watchers points because the whole of the base is made out of cauliflower, some parmesan and egg, so there's no bread involved, which is really good, and it sticks together just like a normal pizza, and it is delicious. So I'm going to go make that, and then I'm going to start my next book, and I'll catch up with you in a minute. Okay, so this is how you make the cauliflower pizza. I'm going to try my best to show you this and not make it too long and boring. The first thing you need is 800 grams of cauliflower, and you're going to need to process it into cauliflower rice. Now, don't put it all in one go like I have done before, because it just bunches up and you can't do the rice. So do it in maybe 3 or 4 batches, take it out once it's riced, and then swap it over. Okay, so this is what your rice should look like once it comes out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to spoon this into the middle of a clean tea towel. That's the key, clean. In fact, not this one, because I've just discovered a hole in it, but a clean tea towel. I'm going to put it into the middle, and then I'm going to twist the tea towel and squeeze out all the water from the cauliflower. Okay, so this is mine in the tea towel, and I can feel how wet it is already. And so look at all this coming out. I'm just gonna Oh, so much water coming out. And you really do need to squeeze this. Oh, and use your muscles to squeeze all of the water out, and I will come back in a minute and show you what it looks like once it's all out. Okay, so it's been squeezed and it's now back into the bowl. As you can see, it's all sort of combined together. Quite a lot came out of that one. I'm quite out of breath. It does require quite a lot of muscle strength. And now what I'm going to do is add 30 grams of grated Parmesan and 3 eggs to this and stir it in. Once I've done that, I will be spooning it onto this baking tray, which I've put parchment on and then sprayed with a little spray oil, and I'll be flattening it out into, it'll probably take up the whole of this baking tray. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's pushed onto the baking tray, and then I've just sprayed it over again with some Frylight olive oil spray, just sprayed all over the top, only a fine sort of few pumps over the top. And my oven's been on to 200 for a little while, and so I'm going to put this in now, and it needs to go in for half an hour. Then I'll be getting it out and I will be turning it over, spraying again, and then it just has another 10 minutes before you put your toppings on. Okay, so this is the end result. This is the second side, which is slightly paler. The other side is slightly darker. Let me see if I can show you without burning myself. It's gone all stuck together like a proper pizza dough. So now I'm going to put on my choice of toppings. I've got some sweet corn and some jalapenos. I've got some yellow peppers and asparagus. I've got some double concentrate Italian tomato puree, so I'm going to use that as my base. I've got some low-fat cheese grated and some goat's cheese, so I'm going to pop that on now. Okay, so this is the end result, and I, for one, cannot wait to get stuck in. Hi there, just checking in for my last update. It's 20 past 10, so I was hoping to read a bit later, but I am just so tired, so I am stopping my reading for the day. I got to page 77 in Legacy of the Mind by H.R. Moore. This is a self-published book that I was very kindly sent by the author. It's the first book in a trilogy. The cover threw me quite a lot because of the look of it. I thought it was going to be a totally different type of book than it is. I'm really, really pleasantly surprised with this. I'm really enjoying it. It's a story set in a time period that feels a little bit Roman, but also is fantastical in its there's not magic in it, but the people have enhanced abilities. So you either belong to spirit, body or mind, and if you're a body, it means that you have maybe you're stronger, you can run faster, things to do with physical exertion. You seem to be better in that way. In spirit, it is things like meditation, and in mind, you're clever and you can maybe do telepathy and things like that. And everyone has certain levels of how strong their different abilities are. And our main character has Anita seems to be, she is definitely a body, but she seems to incorporate some of the others as well. They then have, they're sort of the normal people, I suppose you say. There are then these descendants who are descendants from the three main gods, and they are sort of the ruling power, and they are looking to find a way to send this relic back to the gods in order to free the people to make free choice. It sounds complicated, but it's such an easy read. It's really interesting. She does a really good job of showing and not telling us what's going on, which I really enjoyed. Sometimes with books like this you get a lot of info dumping, and you don't get that with this, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, so far this is on track to be a really good read, and I'm looking forward to finishing this one. So keep an eye out for my next wrap up to find out what I think of this one. But at the end of my 24-hour reading, which hasn't been quite 24 hours, probably more like 12, but I'm not going to stay up all night reading, I've I've read one graphic novel, I've read one full novel, and I'm part way through, probably about a third of a way through a third. I'm pretty happy with that considering all the other bits and bobs that I did today. Oh, and I also listened to my 150 pages of Lonesome Dove on audio. So it's been a pretty good day really, reading wise, and I've really enjoyed it. So I might have to do this again sometime when I get the opportunity. Anyway, thank you for watching this. If you've watched it all the way through, thank you. And I hope the little bits of extra in there have been of interest to you. And yeah, let's chat in the comments down below as always, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.